Hi everyone, this is Rachel Kleinman from rwcrafts.com. Today I have another art journal page to share with you. You can see, or you will see, that some of the processes I use are quite similar to the previous art journal page that I did. I will link to that in the description below. I started this art journal page on what was a very, very stormy night here in Northern California. Our power was flickering on and off constantly. You might see the light change throughout the video. I was determined to get some crafting time in before we officially lost power for a long period of time. So you saw that I started with a Crafter's Workshop stencil. So that is TCW 507. And I used some Liquitex modeling paste on that and waited for it to completely dry. Some of the stencils that I use, you will notice, are no longer available. I was lucky enough to be a part of the Crafters Workshop design team a few years ago, and these stencils are tried and true. I will continue to use them whether they are for purchase or not, but hopefully you're inspired by the ideas and the techniques and not necessarily by the particular stencil. I do tend to just grab whatever's on top, but there's not a deep thought process that goes into this. So you can see that once the modeling paste had completely dried, I blasted it with all my heat tools and let it sit for a couple of hours. That now, since I had my distress watercolor pencils out, that's what I'm going to use. You can see right now I tried to use one of the pinks. It was called Kitsch Flamingo and it was way too light. So I still wanted a light pink, but I decided that I will use Pick Raspberry, which is a very bright pink, but I'm really watering it down with a lot of water and then also picking up the extra pigment with a paper towel. So that's how I was able to get the pink in the lightness that I wanted and still be visible. The other colors I used were Salvage Patina, and then the yellow was Mustard Seed. So this stencil that I'm using here is also by the Crafters Workshop. It is number 628. Again, I would be surprised if they're still available. Please just use what you have and take this as some inspiration. I'm coloring in the stencils with Picked Raspberry Distress ink, and you can see that for the detail spots I used a new to me little stencil brush, and I'll link to that. I found them off Amazon, so I'll link to those. I found my scribbly bird, so I pulled out my Misty tool because I was going to originally stamp them, but then I saw that in the stash I had already saved a completely cut and colored scribbly bird, and in the colors that kind of matched my journal. So it looks like I had originally colored it with my Polychromos Faber-Castell colored pencils. That's what it looks like to me. And then I also found some of these scribbly flowers. These stamps are by Dina Wakley. And they were also already colored in the colors that match my art journal. You will see that I'm very indecisive. So if you've been paying attention, there are actually 3 different colored sleeves that I'm wearing in this very short 5-minute video. And that's because I was just so indecisive about what I wanted to do with this page that it took me 4 or 5 days to finish, even though it's very simple. So do you ever get stuck in your head? Do you ever you just don't know what to do? And it's not that I didn't know what to do, I just wasn't liking anything that I was putting down. Anyways, eventually I figured, let's keep it simple, don't do too much. I made a lot of tags for this that you're probably never gonna see. I just didn't like how they matched up with the page. So I'm using these little pieces are die cuts. Again, you see them in the page next to it. These are Abstract Elements Sizzix dies. And if you watch my previous video, you'll see how I colored those in and then I cut them with my die cut machine. So I'm using, again, some bits and pieces from that to just put those little circle pieces throughout the page. That bumblebee was already cut and colored from the Dina Wakley Scribbly Flowers and Insects stamp set. So those are great stamp sets as well. I mean, anything Dina Wakley, of course, I will recommend. I love all of her products through the Ranger line as well. But yeah, this is a page that ended up being so simple, but really took up so much brain space. And I don't know why. And I hope I'm not the only one. So thank you for letting me talk through it. Sometimes I just got to put it down and don't think about it. Just put it down and walk away and accept it for what it is. So I'm going to finish it off with this stamped phrase, "Don't forget to fly." This is from a Stampers Anonymous. I believe the stamp set is called Tiny Text. Yes, Tiny Text. So it has a ton of different phrases that you can choose from. So I just put this one on randomly, and that finishes the page. So I hope you got some ideas. Again, keep it simple. Don't try to do too much like I did, or else it will take you 4 days when it should only take you 45 minutes. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me. Bye.